Oh my god, where is my video? Anyway, I am Miss Jarena Star and I'm back with another vlog. And today I just want to talk about how gutsy the French are. Like, viva la France. I mean, they are so gutsy. They're like protesting and stuff, and they're out on the streets and they're just not taking crap anymore. They're not being dictated by some man in suits anymore. And they are on the streets of Paris, basically causing a scene and just not putting up with rubbish anymore. So I just want to say how gutsy the French are. Literally, I want to say how gutsy are they? Because currently they're just not being taken for a ride anymore. So I just want to talk about that because it's not only petrol prices that they're complaining about. It's been an ongoing issue with the fact that cost of living has gone up and their taxes, they've been taxed like crazily. There's like this new environment tax that they're actually going through right now, and they've just had enough and they're not going to be putting up with any more nonsense. And that's why they're currently out on the streets of Paris, not their usual rendezvous, but standing up to the police. And can I just say, the police actually look like Daft Punk. That's like, now I can see where Daft Punk got their inspiration from, because those cops look scary, like with their masks and outfits. Like, why are they acting like this? The French people are some sort of alien invaders. They're acting like they're some sort of alien invaders when they're your people. You shouldn't be throwing batons at them and being so mean. And just is there like a takeover of the French police? Because they're looking like they're in some war zone. It's not like it's Europe. What is going on? Why are they being so harsh? And I can understand why the young people of Paris are really fed up right now of being treated like crap, and they're just not putting up with it anymore, and they're literally trying to tell them that you can't control us anymore. They're not like numbers where you can just tell them, okay, this is what you're going to do. You actually have to ask them first. You have to debate things. That's the French way, isn't it? Isn't that why they got rid of the old royal family of France? Yeah, that's exactly why they got rid of the royal family, because they want to establish a égalitaire, equalitaire, or something like that along those liberty. That's it, yeah. And right now, we're not seeing no liberty in Paris and France at the moment. I don't know what's going on. There's no liberty. There's some sort of RoboCop warfare going on in the streets of Paris, and it's really worrying. It's become like a police state. And there was a video on Facebook of like the police going into high schools and arresting the students and telling them to put their hands up on their heads and stuff. Like, they're just becoming a bit too cocky. I don't know what's going on. And like I said, I'm not a fan of Macron. I think he's really arrogant. The guy's just got power up, reaching the top of his head right now. I don't know who he thinks he is. The French people do not deserve to be treated like that. It's just gross. So it's quite shocking. Right now, I'm just listening to James Brown, Papa Don't Take No Mess. And it clearly seems like the French people don't take no mess right now, because they've had enough of this man who came from nowhere and is acting like Napoleon Bonaparte. It's just quite worrying. Thinks just because he's in a Gucci suit, he can do whatever he wants. Actually, it wouldn't be Gucci, would he? Because it has to be a French suit. So probably a Christian Lacroix suit, or a Valentino. No, not Valentino. What's the other one? Christian Dior. Probably a Christian Dior suit. But Mr. Macron is acting very arrogant. He has more air miles than a bird. He's just flying around the world, having, giving speeches, stupid speeches and stuff, going around Africa telling African women to stop having children. Really, he's just sticking his nose everywhere, and it's quite annoying. So I can see why the French people are annoyed with him. I mean, who is he to go around the world wasting Air France air miles and thinking you're some top man when your people don't like you? You've been raising up the taxes doing all sorts, telling them that they're going to be taxed for driving around France. It's not like there's brilliant. Okay, they do have quite good transport, but the farmers of France are really annoyed with him, and apparently, he stopped like the farmers' markets from taking place because that's where people congregate. He's like closing pubs. Why would you close pubs? Like, if England and France, they're big on alcohol, like wine and beer. That's their culture. You don't mess with people's drink in the West. You do not mess with their alcohol. And he went there. He doesn't want them to congregate. So he closed down their French little pubs. And that's why they're crazy. So now, not only did he, tax them for petrol, but he also closed down their pubs. So what are these people supposed to do? Stand in the park singing Kumbaya, my lord? I doubt it. This is something they've been used to. They love their wine. If there's nowhere for them to sit down and drink their red wine, it's chaos in France right now, and I honestly believe that's why they're rioting. And these people, these policemen that look like Daft Punk with those outfits and the hats and everything. Don't get me wrong, they do look cool, but they're up themselves just because they've been given a Daft Punk outfit and look like some you know, new age police crew, just going around beating their civilians and going into schools and marching and telling students to stand on their knees and put their hands up with their guns. It's a bit unnecessary. It's France. It's not like Syria or something like that. I don't know what's going on. So the French are really gutsy to stand up to them and not put up with any nonsense, because let's face it, they've had to put up with too much crap from that man who represents them. So okay, yeah. I just had a commentator talking about Tiger. Apparently, they're not going there. Well, first of all, Mr. Commentator, Tiger's a rubbish place. I would not go there anyway because the door's wide open. Like, they just leave their door wide open so everyone could just come in because they're so desperate for punters. So Tiger is just a wide open door, annoying place anyway. But as I was talking about France, yeah, what's with the riots? The riots are just getting out of control. I just Thanks. I just heard that, Champs-Élysées, the famous Champs-Élysées, and I haven't been there in years, okay? That's where I think I paid €4 for a cappuccino, and I was really annoyed with that. The fact that I paid €4, and that was back in 2006. But yeah, it's the most poshest street. The Champs-Élysées is the famous one, and then you've got that monument right in the middle. I don't know what it is, an arc or a tower. No. I don't know if it's the Eiffel Tower, I forgot. Anyway, one of them. But anyway, the riots were in Champs-Élysées and they were smashing shops. Like, I know they're trying to go for the Gucci bags and they're trying to go for the, what's the other one? Louis Vuitton shoes and stuff while they're at it. But Champs-Élysées was just on lockdown, and the Daft Punk policemen were literally, there was like thousands of them, like 20,000. They're so scared of their little, shops being destroyed because, where would Macron get his fancy suits from? That's where he gets it from, obviously. So, yeah, and I just saw it, and, it's just all chaos. It makes our riots look, really silly. But, yeah, and it's just generally the whole of France. The French are going crazy and stuff. So what does that mean? Because France is just down the road. It's not that far. You can get a train. So I honestly think that, if something like that's happening there, it's obviously going to kick off here with all this Brexit. But I suggest that they break off and leave the EU now because of what's happening in France. If Theresa May just needs to, either call a general election or just leave the EU now, because there's either way, there's a riot coming here, and when the riot comes in the UK, it's going to be much worse than France. Definitely much worse. So we should just leave the EU right now because of what we're seeing in France. Just break it off and just say, look, I don't want none of this here, because no one's going to control the UK once they start have a riot, especially in the north of England, because they're feisty. Let's face it, the north of England, nobody's going to challenge them. Like, if the north of England start, that will be like the highlight of the whole year, because there's nothing going on in the north of England. So obviously the whole regions would just be going crazy if they do that. So I don't know what's going on really, but it's been downplayed, but it shouldn't be because it's obviously going to spread here. It's not that far, it's just Paris. So, you know, we'll see. We'll just keep it. Uh, let's have a look. Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But the Daft Punk policemen, they need to go easy on the people of France because, you know, they're your people. You shouldn't be headbutting them with guns and stuff and throwing them and kicking them. That's just mean, honestly. Who does that? That's so mean. Mm, so I just think the French people are really gutsy for standing up to them. But literally, they have no choice. They have to stand up to them because they're just out of line. This man is out of line. He's just literally going around the world thinking he's Napoleon in a suit, in a fancy suit, and it needs to stop. So right now, I'm just listening to James Brown. He's got some amazing footwork. So yeah, I'm just listening to him, and yeah, he's got a wig. I always wonder whether that was a wig or his hair, because it could be his hair. It's just pressed, but he does have some funky dance moves. So yeah, I just want to talk about that generally, what's happening in France and how gutsy they are, that they're standing up to the big bullies of the police force. Um, yeah, it's crazy. Some interesting sights that we're seeing right now, and we just have to wait and see what's going to happen because it's not like we're that far away really from France. We're not. So yeah, I am Miss Jarena Star. I've been back with another vlog, and I'll be back again. Bye.